What up, though? What up, though? Let me close this move. It's too windy. It's too windy sounding. Let me back my seat up a little bit so you can catch me in the shot as much as possible. So what do we have going on in the news? This happened a few days ago. Kenya, I forget her. They just said Kenya Stone, I think that's her name. Filed for divorce with Gary Owen. I don't know the specific reasons why. Some people throw out infidelity. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying? Like, they were married for 18 years. I think they were together for like a little bit longer than that. Had kids together, the whole shebang. And then, you know, for whatever reason, she chose to file for divorce. And people in social media, maybe I'm just not paying. Man, I just really don't care. The only reason why I'm even doing this video is because I'm doing a delivery and I got like 30 more minutes before I get there. No, like 23 minutes before I get there. So I just want to talk about it. But I noticed like a mixed thing, like, no pun intended, because they're in a racial relationship, but I noticed it's two factions. It's one group of people. I mainly see happiness. Like, people kind of like low-key, they're clowning Gary for losing his chocolate drop. But then they're clowning Kendra too, because they on some, see, you went over to the white boys and look, it didn't work, even though it worked for 18 freaking years. That's a long ass run. You know what I'm saying? Whether the relationship worked or not, that's still like a long time to be with somebody and have kids with them and things of that nature. So hopefully they split amicably. But a lot of people just happy about this shit. And like, I'm just really starting to think, because even sometimes my mind will fall into this. You know, like a celebrity, they'll break up with somebody. Like, prime example, J-Lo. For some reason, like, in my mind, I always want to see, I loved when J-Lo was with Diddy. And maybe because, you know, I grew up in a hood where there were a lot of Hispanic women, and that's what I pretty much was like mainly attracted to when I was young coming up. But also on the flip side, Hispanic women gave me the time of day the most out of any group. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it was me, and a lot of it was just, that's just the way it panned out. But like, a lot of people, why are people just happy when relationships end? That should be like a sad occasion, man. You know, whether you think like Gary Owen was a hack comedian and appropriating black culture, like he's always been like that. He seems pretty genuine, you know. Relationships just don't work out. That's why I mean, it's hard to not go public with your relationship when you're a celebrity, because even if your wife isn't famous or your husband isn't famous, you go out in public or something of that nature, somebody gonna see you. They're gonna put two together. Somebody gonna flash a picture with their phone on the low. So if you're a celebrity, you might as well just come out with like, yo, this is who I'm with, blah blah blah, because eventually somebody gonna know or whatever. But if I ever get to that point, I definitely I'm gonna try to be as private as I possibly can, unless I link up with another celebrity. Then, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it is what it is. But like, people celebrate dysfunction so much, man. It's honestly, it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna get into the whole if she was a bedwench or if he was culturally appropriating. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just like, why do we celebrate? Why do so many of us celebrate failures in relationships? I think that's very dysfunctional. And then it's funny because like for all the dudes that's happy that Kenya, I hope I'm saying her name right. But for all those that are happy that Kenya you know, filed for divorce, you acting like you about to get her. You acting like you was waiting for like 20 years, and now she's leaving a celebrity, or B-list celebrity, whatever, but he's still a celebrity. You gonna have to be able to, like, whatever he was making, bring it to the table. And Gary Owen, he's definitely a millionaire. I I think he's worth between 1 and 6 million. I can't think of it off the top of the head. So off the top, that's what you're gonna have to be able to match. Now me, like nothing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be funny, nothing like that. But if I was she's attractive. But if I was a multi-millionaire, my first choice wouldn't be a divorcee. Somebody that freshly divorced one of the most like famous comedians in the world. I can't compete with that. You know what I'm saying? And money-wise, if I could, and stature-wise, like, listen, man, my chick gonna be spectacular. That's the way I see it. And I'm not saying that she's not, but she gonna look just as good as her, and hopefully not be a divorcee. You know, if I had my choice, like, I mean, you can't choose who you fall in love with, but you can choose who you allow in your life and choose to spend time with and stuff like that. Like, I could be in love with this chick across the street, but she don't fucking know me and shit. Or we can be in love, but we creeping or whatever bullshit, and you got a whole another family and stuff like that. So I'm in love with you, but I won't allow myself to fully commit to somebody that can't commit. So you can't choose who you love, like, you know what I'm saying, who you fall in love with, but you can choose who you spend your life with. You can choose who you live with. If you're an adult, a sane, healthy, functioning adult, which is I'm all three of those things: I'm sane, I'm healthy, and I'm functioning. So you can control that. And feelings are always temporary, man. I have a crush on a different woman every other day, and I've been that way since I was little. I mean, there's certain women that, you know, I've been thinking about, who I've crushed over the years, and some I've hooked up with, some nothing ever materialized. But there's a lot of women that I said I love you to, or in my mind I felt like I was in love with them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think human beings are a lot more complex than this relatively new construct. I think human beings are a lot more complex than this relatively new construct of monogamy. What I'm saying was, I think human beings are a lot more complicated than this relatively new construct of monogamy. You know, like, we're capable of having multiple children, loving all our children on different levels, loving our siblings, and, you know, parents and grandparents. We love all of them. You know what I'm saying? So why does that have to stop? And we express our love in different ways through all of our relatives. So why does the, you know, as far as sharing love and spreading love, even though it's a different type of love when it comes to romantic, which is philia, or no, I'm sorry, eros, erotic love, but why does it have to stop there, though? You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting off topic or whatever. I'm just saying, like, for us to just like celebrate their demise and like their failure, I even when my mind leans towards that, like, I was happy that J-Lo broke up with A-Rod because I want to see her with a black dude, but that's just some superficial bullshit from my point. You know what I'm saying? From my point of view, like, why am I even like having joy that, you know, this woman J-Lo, who can't seem to find the right man and to stick to as fine as she is and in great shape, mega celebrity, multi-millionaire, man, her and like Halle Berry, and they just can't you know, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out for them, you know? Why am I celebrating their failures? That's a toxic mindset, you know what I mean? And that's something I'm trying to work on, and that's something that a lot of people in general need to work on. You know, don't celebrate that shit. Let it come out. I'm sure, like, Gary Owen is an open book. Gary Owen is definitely full disclosure, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, you know, he runs a podcast. He's pretty open about himself, so hopefully he'll talk about it. We'll see. What's good, JP? I'm just talking about the Gary Owen situation and how so many people are happy and celebratory about it. And I think it's kind of dysfunctional to celebrate people not being together. You know, or it's kind of dysfunctional to celebrate, said, because white folks don't deserve the greatness of us. I agree with it. I agree with you. I don't know. That's something to be debated, because it's like do you know her? Like, how on the surface she looks beautiful, but like what makes you think she's great? And then how great of a person, like, okay, if we talking, say you on some pro-black shit right now, so if you on that, right? How great of we in the black power realm right now, just for a second. Even though I'm more objective, but let's get into the black power sphere right now of the conversation. If white people don't deserve our greatness, and like you saying she's a beautiful black woman, so she's great. White people don't deserve our greatness, right? How great is a black, from this perspective, that from what you just said, how great is a black person if they choose a white person? How great is a black, and I'm saying I'm just saying from your perspective, how great is a black person, a black woman, if she chooses to sleep and have children with a white man? Now, I don't agree with none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna go into that realm, how great is a black woman if she chooses to sleep with a black man, suck his dick, anal, probably do facials, having his babies? How great is that person? If as fine as she is, and I'm sure she was approached by brothers, and she had, there was probably millions and millions upon millions of successful black brothers that she could have had, but she chose to go with the white dude. So how great is she? If you say you have good taste, right, but you like to eat poison, how great is your taste? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you have a mental sickness, and this is the thing, and maybe it's not her fault, maybe it's not our fault, but if you have a mental sickness, now how great of a person are you really? You know what I mean? You still have to, there's fixings and repairs. Like, you can go to a dealership and to buy a car or whatever, and it look fucking beautiful, it's gorgeous, it look dope as shit, but it don't got no engine, or like the computer system is fucked up. So it look good on the surface, but if it doesn't have all the parts and components, you know what I mean, to be a reliable vehicle, then how great of a vehicle is that, man? It isn't. Now, but I don't really ascribe to that. I feel like people are just gonna connect in general. You know what I'm saying? Gary On doesn't, as far as how he projects himself, yes, I think sometimes he speaks and he speaks on situations regarding the black community, and he feels comfortable that way, you know what I'm saying, in doing so because of who his wife is and because he has biracial children. I get that, but sometimes I think he should have fell on his sword and just like played the background and not said nothing. It kept his opinions in his conversations, you know what I'm saying, to himself or just to his wife or to his family. Because at the end of the day, you is a white dude, and nobody ain't trying to hear a white motherfucker tell black people like blacks how to be. I've already talked about this last year when he talked about maybe he was thinking about forgiving Ari Shaffir for that bullshit that he said about Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? But so I've already addressed that. But if you're just like a genuine, like a sincere person, you understand what I'm saying? And you want a wife and she loves your sincerity and y'all connect, y'all just connect. That's whatever. As far as them deserving our greatness, I think a shitty person doesn't deserve anything that's great in general. You know what I mean? And not all black folks is great. We know this for a fact. You know what I'm saying? And not all white people is slave owners and evil and shit and racist. You giving Gary that sometimes line, but yet saying definite lines for the black. No, what you mean? You said you're giving Gary the sometimes lines, but yet saying definite lines for that black royalty. I don't get what you mean by that. Like, I don't know. I don't know Gary to know if he's great or if he isn't. I don't know him. Just like I don't know Kenya to know if she's great or she isn't. Like things like that. See, the problem with that, to have that kind of debate, he don't deserve her, whatever. We don't really know if she a great motherfucker, and we don't really know if he's an asshole, or vice versa. You don't really know that information. So it's like, it's a waste of time to like debate on if somebody is great or not if you don't truly know them. Now, you've been in the game 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So you know a lot more comedians. You know a lot more people. You have a much a deeper inside track than myself. And then a lot of these, you know, a lot of these cats in the comedy game, because you've been doing it 30 years. So I'm not going to speak for you. So maybe you know some shit that I don't know. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? You probably know some things that I don't know. So I respect that. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, I don't know shit. I just know what Gary Owen presents on social media. I don't personally know him. And same thing with Kenya. So I'm not gonna. My issue isn't. See, and that's the whole point. Like, a lot of us are having like these deep ass opinions, but we don't even know these individuals. So how can we truly have an objective opinion when we don't really know? How do we really know if Gary wasn't worthy of Kenya? You know, I know he worth more money than she is. How do we know she was this mentally ill queen or whatever? I don't know. Like the whole thing when he was going back and forth with Michael Blackson, and he was like, I can't say the N-word, but I had my wife Kenya say the N-word. She can say it for me. You know what I'm saying? I have her say it. I have her saying, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got your dirty ass shoes on, your dirty ass feet. You was a black ass nigga. Like, I thought that was some bullshit. I thought that was some bullshit. Don't even try to use no nigga euphemisms. Yo, just come up with some new creative shit. You a fucking comic. You don't. Why does the N-word gotta be the fucking atomic bomb? You could just create a whole nother whatever to fucking roast. There's so many things that you could take apart. Michael Blackson, his face and his getup and the fake accent, and he really from Philly and shit. Like, there's so many ways that you can go. Like, but you know, I'm off topic, man. I just think that it's not healthy that we celebrate individuals that break up, man. Is this some type of, like, it's almost like niggas is looking at this shit as like some victory for the black community. And like, Gary Owen is basically a black comic, just like, you know, as far as his material and how he carries himself and his references and the things that he's into. He's pretty much a black person by by proxy, I guess, if that's the right word. Or just what he embrace. And I meet white people like this all the time that they just embrace black culture. This is what they're really about. Just like I meet other races like Asian motherfuckers that embrace the white culture, so to speak, of black folks that embrace, you know what I'm saying, the white culture. There's always individuals that embrace things outside of themselves. This ain't nothing new. This happens like all the time, though. You know what I mean? But for us to celebrate that, man, as if we won something, like niggas acting like they about to fuck Kenya now. You know what I'm saying? She probably was fuck. Yo, these celebrities, these motherfuckers, man, you don't know what happened behind. You do not know what happens behind closed doors, man. These motherfuckers, they probably getting all kinds of dick and pussy and doing all kinds of vile, freaky stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's on the low, it's on the DL. You know what I mean? It's not out in the forefront. You know? Let's just stop celebrating it, though. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I just see it as extremely dysfunctional to always be happy when couples break up, especially like if it's like a biracial couple. And it's funny because I'm mainly seeing it from black people that's chiming in on this shit, and they're mainly I mainly see happiness, and I see on some aha pointing the finger at Gary type shit, and some aha pointing the finger at Kenya. We don't want her black ass back. She had that white dick for 20 years. I'm like, man, some of y'all niggas is fucking hoes that fuck all kinds of dudes, man, all kinds of races and shit like that. What are you talking about, y'all? You know what I'm saying? And you do the same thing too. So, and then we pointing fingers at Gary, like, you was fetishizing. I don't know how to say the word. Now look at your wife. Your wife left you. Like, some of y'all motherfuckers probably making fun of Gary Owen for losing his wife. At least he held it down for 18 years. Some of y'all dudes, myself included, longest relationship I had was two years. And it was like a loose 2 years. It wasn't even like a solid 2. You know? It was a loose 2. It wasn't even solid. So who are a lot of us to make fun of a relationship ended that lasted 18 years, but half of y'all mofos can't even stay with a person for 2 weeks. What is this person doing, yo? Jesus Christ. These mofos driving crazy out here. Hold on. And my bad. I had to check the GPS. But like, yo, who are we to judge, man? Who are a lot of us to judge and point fingers and make fun of? You making fun of something that lasted 18 years when you could barely last 18 days. I didn't make fun of it. I think it's a sad thing. I feel like, you know, on the surface, it seemed like they had a healthy relationship, you know, putting kids through college. And they're just a family. You know, they represent America. America is not just black. America is not just white. America is an amalgamation of people. And that's what they are. They represent that, man. You know what I'm saying? And a family is the most basic unit of government. You know, and so when you see that shit ending and not working and not failing, man, that's a failure for America, like technically. If you want to be technical, it's not like Gary Owen was out here dissing black people and stuff like that and using racial epithets and fucking shit on black people. And I didn't see that on Kenya's part either, because there be some black chicks that you know, they squirrel or whatever, and they like shit on black people. Oh my God. And they, you know, they talk all valley shit like, oh my God, like ever since I met Justin, like Justin's so beautiful, his hair's pretty, our baby's gonna have blue eyes and blonde hair, and like the black guys, they just like didn't know how to treat me. The black guys were like horrible, and like they would just like fuck my face, like come on me and stuff, and like make me buy them dinner. And this is horrible. Like when I met Steve, you know, he was just like so awesome. He paid for everything, and like the best thing about Steve is that he like let me put a strap on, and like I like peg him. It was like, oh my God, it was like so empowering. It's like if the men get the fuck and like they have to use their tools and stab, then like women are like equal. Like why can't we do that? Like get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here. But that's pretty much all I had to say. I'm about to pull up. I will holler at y'all. Let's just try to be positive, you know, instead of worrying about singing and sharing with other people's relationships end. Work and maintain your shit. Hashtag everybody need more green. Deuces.